What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you got some good plans for the week and hope you're actually doing something unlike Ben Simmons on the 76ers. But my name is Black Bond, but you probably already knew that. Quick little video today. We're going to be talking about Xbox Studios, Xbox, their first party, their games. But before that, be sure to check out my channel over at the Black Bond channel. Latest videos include Metroid Dread sales dropped by 63% in the UK. I hate you people in the UK. I've always told you that you are the worst when it comes to gaming. I uploaded another video, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, the final mission. I cannot recommend enough that anybody who is into Battletech, MechWarrior, who is into any kind of giant mecha, that you need to go play MechWarrior 5. Highest recommendation. Probably my favorite game all year, next to what you're hearing in the background in Metroid Dread. And I'll probably do a whole entire Battletech MechWarrior collection sometime in the future. Also, be sure to check out Flagging and Snitching from those two fat, bald, obese clowns. But outside of that, check out the Welcome to the Podcast Sundays at 5:45 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Broken Games HD, Jack Move Johnny, Kid Smooth and Blandrew. And if you like our content, you like to support us, we do have a Patreon, 372 strong, and anybody who supports us, we appreciate it. So, on to today's video. Xbox Studios boss admits lagging behind Sony in terms of big tentpole games. We haven't really had the sort of one-to-one with Sony. Now, before I even read further into this article, there are actually people online, real life, human people I refer to as NPCs, but there are actually functionally, medically cleared, sentient, brain operable human beings that believe that Microsoft has better studios and better games than Sony. Let me repeat that. Microsoft themselves says that they admit that they haven't had the sort of one-to-one with Sony, but there will be Microsoft and Xbox fanboys stating otherwise. There are people that said that their state of play announcing GT7, Horizon Forbidden West, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, that isn't good. Meanwhile, they're sitting around playing Game Pass games, and when good games come out, they say, you know what? I'll wait till that comes to Game Pass too. It's a struggle console. That's exactly what the Xbox brand is. It is PC's red-headed stepchild, its inferior offspring. It is a struggle-love console. There is no way the Xbox can ever hope to be the best gaming platform ever, because everything it offers is on the PC. And the PC has everything Xbox offers, what it offers, what Sony offers, and even more beyond that, with free online, more customization at the highest levels possible for gaming. At Xbox's absolute very best, its ceiling is always going to be number 2 under Big Brother. So, Xbox Game Studios' Matt Booty has discussed Microsoft's efforts to compete with Sony. Now remember, a lot of these Xbox guys say that Microsoft isn't competing with Sony, that they're just competing with themselves in regards to subscriptions and Game Pass, that their big competitors are Amazon and Google. No, you morons, they're competing with everybody. They're competing with PC, they're competing with Steam, they're competing with Epic, they're competing with Origin, they're competing with Sony, they're competing with Nintendo. You are competing with dollars in the video game market. I don't know why you people that don't know business or have any degrees in business or actually work in business want to say all this stupid crap when you don't even know what business is. So, once again, in Microsoft's efforts to compete with Sony in terms of first-party games, acknowledging that the Xbox has not been out in front when it comes to big tentpole games like Sony is known for. Booty praised Sony for what has been able to achieve, going on to say Microsoft hopes to deliver more of those types of games in the future. So, Microsoft is admitting that Sony is superior, and they are admitting that they are playing catch-up, and that they are admitting we want to be more like Sony, which isn't a bad thing. But for me, why do I want a company that wants to be like Sony when I can just buy Sony? Hats off to Sony, their studio system, and the leaders that they've got there. It's fantastic. You can't argue with the quality and the craft and the games that they've delivered and they're working on now. Kudos and hats off to them. I think there's a certain kind of game that generates an anticipation. It becomes a tentpole moment. It's a game that fits an intersection of everybody can play, and it's a big world you can inhabit. I think those kind of games are important. Certainly, it's been a place where we have not been out in front. We haven't really had that sort of one-to-one with Sony. Kudos to Booty for keeping it real. He is telling you what I've been telling you for the longest. For what I've been telling not only you Nintendo guys, not only you PC guys, but you Xbox guys as well. That when it comes to big AAA games, Sony is at the forefront of the industry. Ow, but Black Bond, you didn't play those games on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation... Because I don't play at welfare frame rates of 30 frames per second. But none of that holds me back from playing PlayStation games right now, does it? I went back and played a lot of their old games. I went back and played Ghost of Tsushima. I went back and played God of War. I went back and played The Last of Us. I went back and played The Last of Us 2. I played Spider-Man. I played Miles Morales. All of these games are excellent games. I don't know why people can't understand this. Sony is top dog. Sony is the leader. Sony is the master. Sony puts out the most critically acclaimed games out of all the major companies, Nintendo included. And yes, that's Dread you're hearing in the background. The bottom line is you people need to understand what the industry is. People need to understand what competition is. Sega got studios to compete with Nintendo. PlayStation got studios to compete with Nintendo. Xbox got studios to compete with PlayStation. PlayStation got studios to compete with Xbox and Nintendo. It is a competition, and competition is good. It's just like when one team in the division signs a giant free agent or drafts a high-end player, the other teams try to draft a position that can counter that high-end player or get a position similar to offset that high-end player. I don't know why you are obsessed with putting people down for being what they are or trying to not acknowledge other companies trying to compete and say that companies are not competing against each other when in fact factually they are. So let this be a wake-up call to one of these Xbox apologists, these Xbox corporate slaves, these fanboys, these shills, Xbox University, I'm talking to you, or anybody else that you want to call it. Microsoft knows that they are behind Sony. The industry knows that they are behind Sony. Everybody knows that they are behind Sony. Just admit it. Nobody's saying that Microsoft can't one day come out and compete or come out and even exceed what Sony has to offer. But right now, for anybody, especially an Xbox gamer, to be making fun of and talking down about Sony when your company that you're supporting is trying to be like Sony, to try to get good like Sony, to try to match with Sony, you come off like a fool. I'm Black Bond. Enjoy your weekend, because I'll tell you what, I know I will.